Good evening, my Real News Midday TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update for April 12, 2024. And in the news this evening, Jamaica Gray's killer sentenced to life in prison. The man convicted of the murder of 15-year-old schoolgirl Jamaica Gray in 2017 has been sentenced to life imprisonment with no possibility of parole until he has served 42 years, 9 months and 21 days in prison. High Court Justice Bertram Morrison handed down the judgment a short while ago in the St. James Circuit Court. Gregory Roberts was found guilty by a 7-member jury on January 24. Jamaica, a grade 10 student at the time of her death in 2017, was found dead 3 days after being reported missing. She was last seen alive in Montego Bay while on her way home from a schoolmate's funeral. Roberts and his co-accused Mario Morrison were later taken into custody in connection with the killing. Morrison pleaded guilty in September 2022 after entering a plea deal with the state and was sentenced to life in prison a month later. Teen girl among 2 detained after gun found in toilet tank. 2 persons, including a teen girl from the Brinkley district in Junction, St. Elizabeth, were taken into custody after a firearm was discovered hidden inside a toilet tank during a recent operation in the community. According to the St. Elizabeth police, a .44 Smith & Wesson Magnum revolver with 1 live round was found following the search of premises in the area. The teen girl and a man were taken into custody following the find. Head of the division, Acting Superintendent Coleridge Minto, commended the search team for their diligence and detail during this operation. He further noted that the police also discovered paperwork which suggested some level of scamming happening in the area. Minto said detectives will continue their investigations as the police are committed to ridding the area of criminals. Minto also seized the opportunity to urge the citizens to come forward with information they may have regarding illegal firearms or individuals wanted by law enforcement. Man killed, brother injured in suspected arson attack. The St. Catherine North police suspected that an arson attack is behind the death of a man and the wounding of his brother at their house in Jones Avenue, Spanish Town on Friday morning. The deceased has only been identified as David. A woman and her baby managed to escape unharmed after their 1-bedroom house was also razed by the fire. The police say about 3 o'clock, the brothers were at their house when it was seen on fire. The authorities were alerted while residents attempted to douse the flames. However, the brothers' house and the adjoining dwelling were destroyed. David's body was on the veranda. His brother was taken to hospital with burns. Their neighbor says the destruction of her house and its contents are a major loss, but she is happy that she was able to save her baby.
I was sleeping and I wake up. When I wake, I saw over there catch a fire. So when I look, I see over there is blazing. So I just grab my baby and come out.
And you lost everything?
Everything. I don't know where to turn right now or what to do, but thank God for life.
Hanover police maintaining security measures to stem bloodletting. The Hanover police say they will continue to use available security measures to cauterize the bloodletting in the parish, as infighting among gangs in Green Island and Mount Pelier is leading to more homicides. There have been 13 murders committed in the parish since the start of the year, 10 of which were in Green Island. Deputy Superintendent Carl Brown, crime officer for Hanover, says that the pattern of murders in Green Island in March was identified after last week's murder of Wade Phillips, also known as a Scatter, along the 7-mile beach in Negril, Westmoreland. DSP Brown says that Mr. Phillips, who was suspected to have been involved in crimes in the area, was at war with Adrian Clark, otherwise called Turbo, the so-called leader of the 100 Rounds gang. Clark is serving a 20-year prison sentence for gun crimes.
We decided, based on the assessment, that if not managed properly, that incident could give us some reprisal. And not too long after, so we were able to determine that reprisal would come, but we couldn't identify the target. And so men wantonly drove through Green Island Saturday night long. and injured 2 persons, killed 1. But since then, we have kind of pulled back things. The fact that we have employed the use of the curfews, and that ended last evening, and we intend to use another until we can put a handle on things. We have this issue in Montpellier where 2 sets of persons are fighting and have been doing so since last year. Mid last year, we were able to arrest maybe about 8 of them in either faction. But what they did, they went to court and they made up. So the matters were thrown out. They promised to maintain peace, but that never lasted for too long. And so they killed a gentleman Monday evening, and from this as well, we're expecting reprisal. But we have put things in place to mitigate, if not cancel altogether what they have planned.
Cashier allegedly disappears with $900,000 slated for bank deposits. A woman who is accused of making off with $900,000 she received at work to deposit in the establishment's bank account has been charged with larceny as a servant. She has been identified as 29-year-old Christina Lewis, otherwise called Tanya, of New Building District, Nain, Westmoreland. She initially gave her name as Tanya Lewis and was featured on the GCF Wanted Wednesday campaign. According to the police, the accused was employed as a cashier at a business establishment in the parish when she was given over $900,000 to deposit into an account. It is alleged that Lewis did not make the deposit and failed to hand over the cash to her employer. The police said she was contacted on several occasions, however all checks made were futile. Lewis turned herself in after being featured on the Jamaica Constabulary Force's Wanted Wednesday campaign this week. She is scheduled to appear before the Savannah Lamar Parish Court on Tuesday, April 23. Historic K Valley Estate chimney crumbles. The historic K Valley Estate chimney in St. Anne crumbled on Thursday afternoon, ending years of concern about the safety of the structure. No one was injured. Residents of K Valley and the political representatives have been calling for the 85-feet chimney to be demolished by the Jamaica National Heritage Trust. The structure, built in or about 1872, is a heritage site. It was once a part of the K Valley Sugar Estate that took smoke and the fumes away from the factory. K Valley resident Lincoln said he witnessed the crumbling of the historic structure.
Happy to know that nobody get hurt. People were just running, taking picture, but none never see it when it coming down like me. But I couldn't take a picture because I have a banger. My God, I was hoping that it don't create no damage, and I was here watching it coming down so slowly. I never created damage, and I was happy to see that.
I was thinking that they would come and even put some reinforcement around it to keep it standing, preventing from fall like it did now, because as we all know that this was a landmark and it should be there forever. So I believe it's a neglect from whosoever should really take it into consideration and to preserve it.
MOU being drafted to guide election day workers on role of observers. A memorandum of understanding is being drafted to properly guide election workers on the role of observers on election day. This comes after Election Observer Group Citizens Action for Free and Fair Elections was forced to intervene when some observers were barred from monitoring the counting at polling stations on the evening of the recent local government election. CAFE has observed elections since its inception in 1997. Speaking with the news, CAFE head Grace Baston said the document, which will explicitly outline the role of observers, will also be integrated in training for representatives of the Electoral Office of Jamaica.
You know, we're continuing to discuss, to go back and forth. We are to share our draft with the EOJ. Our suggestion, and it was well received, was that this MOU would be included in our training materials in both our so the EOJ workers would have it. We would exchange our manuals, and what we're asking is that MOU be part of their training manuals, because what we did see was inconsistency in the training. Clearly, most of the officials on election day knew and understood the role of the cafe observer, and some did not. And we could only chalk that up to inconsistency in the training. Just as cafe observers are trained very clearly in what the role of those officials is supposed to be.